Today is Friday, March 5th. And I'm Derek O'Shea, and this is your Friday edition of the 1 Minute News. It's a little longer. U.S. adds 379,000 JOBs. But to be fair, it's all in Texas because they opened up in Mississippi. I'm just kidding. Congrats, United States. 379,000 jobs. Kayleigh McEnany, her last name gets me every time I read it. McEnany, said on Fox News, she always knew where her boss stood. Going against Jen in her old circle back. Oh, man. I can't wait to see this little feud heating up. I'm kind of hoping for a little celebrity boxing match at the end of it. I think that'd be incredible. Yesterday, senators in Alabama voted 23-4 in favor of a bill that would outlaw gender transition surgery for persons under 18 years old. That's controversial. What are your thoughts on people under 18, like 12-year-olds, getting gender transition surgery? You can't get a Tylenol from your school nurse without your mom's permission, but in some states, you can get gender transition surgery. Goldman Sachs announced on Thursday that it's setting a new goal to reach a carbon emissions level of net zero by the year 2030. Congrats, Goldman Sachs. Why don't we just push for nuclear energy while we're at it, and we could just be there already. Democratic Representative Bernie Thompson of Mississippi was the only Democrat congressperson to vote against the H.R. 1 bill. What is that bill? The bill states it addresses voter access, election integrity and security, campaign finance, and ethics for three branches of government. Specifically, the bill expands voter registration, automatic and same-day registration, and voting access, vote by mail, and early voting, but it also limits removing voters from voter rolls. Yes, let's make it hard for those votes to not be counted. The bill requires states to establish independent redistricting commission to carry out congressional redistricting. Yes, and making cities more powerful than those small cities and those rural towns. Let's get those idiots out of here because they don't get it. Us city folk get it. The legislation would also enact automatic voter registration and restore voter rights to felons after they have completed their sentences and expand early voting access and absentee voting. I don't know how I feel about the whole felon thing. I think that's a different argument. But as far as like same-day voting and just cranking out, it just seems like it's set up to fail. And maybe that's the point. Making it easier and easier for fraud. You know, there's countries like France who don't think mail-in voting is smart because it's too easy for fraud to show up. But you know what? Our media and us are like, you know what? It's perfectly fair, and there's no way any fraud would ever happen. No way. It's safe. Okay. Connecticut Democratic Governor Ned Lamont is lifting all capacity on limits in restaurants, retail, libraries, personal services, indoor recreation, gyms, museums, offices, houses of worship on March 19th. Are you in Connecticut? Congratulations. You can go back to a little bit of real life. That's crazy. But is the media saying anything about this? No, because they're so focused on Texas and Florida and now Mississippi. But they're really just going after Texas, Florida, because those are the big conservative ideologies. These little states don't have a chance in the media. Jimmy Fallon lists his $15 million triplex for sale. $15 million. That's not his only home. So when he talks about his white privilege, I'm okay with it. Like, yeah. I wish I had a thing for $15 million. Golly. Oh, my gosh. You know, when I hear things like that, when I see like a house for $15 million going on for sale and he's telling people that about their white privilege and they need to I can understand why he would think that way. Because look at all he has, and he can't help but look around and be like, I'm so privileged. But then he has forgotten what the average, I think as a comedian, you would think that he would remember the hard days of like playing at a laundromat. I don't know. Eric Swalwell is suing Donald Trump and Trump Jr. for the January 6th riots. The insurrection that found 0 guns a part of it. But an Antifa can attack a federal building and, we'll bail them out. Top advisors to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo influenced state health officials to remove data from a public report that showed coronavirus-related nursing home deaths in the state had exceeded numbers previously acknowledged by the administration in a new report. You know what? I think this whole sexual scandal thing is just to take away from this part because they want to pretend like Democrats did everything right and Republicans did everything wrong, even though science kind of goes against that, which is a fun word, but whatever. They're done with Cuomo. They realize he's got too much. Speaking of Cuomo, and Andrea Stewart-Cousins, the Democratic majority leader in New York State Senate, said that Cuomo set the claims on Cuomo that if there is any further people coming forward, I think it would be time to resign. Yes, so 1 sexual harassment case isn't enough, 2's not enough, but 3? Yeah. Golly. These people. Believe all women, Me Too movement, that's only good if it fits their agenda in the moment. But as soon as it goes against one of their own, we'll give them grace, slap them on the back. I can't stand politics. They just say whatever they can to stay in power, and because it's all about their agenda, it's all about their message, and it has nothing to do with actually serving the people. Pope goes to Iraq, and that's a big news story. I'm not Catholic, so I don't care. Beijing to overhaul. If you are, I'm sorry. I hope you care a lot. Beijing to overhaul. This is crazy to me. This will go under the radar, and the news won't say anything because they're so worried about this Capitol insurrection and the QAnon day that didn't happen yesterday, but they'll keep the troops there for probably forever. Beijing to overhaul Hong Kong electoral system. Just a little overhaul, or as Time Magazine likes to call it, fortifying. China's top lawmaking body has unveiled plans to ensure only patriots can govern Hong Kong. I wonder what that word means to them. I think it's pretty obvious. That's really sad because Hong Kong is the only bright spot in the entire country, and it's gone. Tsunami alert lifted from New Zealand after earthquakes. That is scary. Freaking tsunami. And today in history, in 1963, the hula hoop is patent. Now that's exciting. I remember middle school when hula hoops were coming out, people were just like, if you're good at hula hoop, that means you're good at sex. And people were so excited if they were good at it. And I just remember being in middle school, just kind of struggling with it. And oh no, everyone's going to think I'm a loser. Oh, can you do the hula hoop? I can do it now for a little bit, but it's I think it's just one of those things, the more you practice it, you get it. And if you don't practice it ever and you just start using it, you're not going to get it. And so you just look stupid. Whatever. Middle school days, am I right? The worst days of my life. Hope you have a fantastic Friday. I'll have a little bonus episode coming out later today. Hope you guys will enjoy. I've been going a little bit, doing a couple of live streams on my channel. I've been going live on Instagram, YouTube, Twitters. And I'm on Twitch now. I'm just waiting till they report me for some kind of you said something offensive. Fantastic day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. And just remember, as always, the media likes to conjure up your emotions and stir you up It doesn't matter what channel you listen to in a certain way so that you can continue to stare at their television and so they can continue to rake in money with their advertisers. They are freaking out right now because they don't have somebody like Trump, and the media likes to cover up for Biden to give a false sense of security, like everything is back to normal and everything's okay when it's really not. And it takes reading and it takes digging to find actual facts these days. And so if you don't mind, you could support me on Patreon if you want. There's links for that everywhere, and I appreciate those that do. You can Venmo me at the 1 Minute News, all one word, and I appreciate those who do that too. Sometimes that comes in, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me because I put a lot of time and effort into this podcast, and I pay money just to host it. I mean, I'm just paying money to host it, so I hope you guys are enjoying that part at least. And it's being an independent news channel is really, really hard to grow. And so if you guys don't mind sharing this channel, sharing this video, sharing this podcast with your friends and family, you can share it on any social media platform. You can, if you're watching on Instagram, you can just click the little arrow and then put it into your stories so people could click on the stories. If you want, you can share it on your Facebook, the link on the YouTubes, or if you just want to tell your friends and family about it via word of mouth, I would really appreciate it because it's the only way we'll grow. Because Facebook, Twitter, especially YouTube, but especially those two, they just don't prop me up, and you will never find me unless it's word of mouth or you sharing. That's it. It's the only way. So if you think my podcast is worth people knowing about it, please continue sharing. Please continue telling people about it. It means a lot to me. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. Again, the bonus episode, the week recap, is coming out soon. Look out for that. Have a fantastic weekend for those who don't care about my thoughts. Okay. See you on the next episode of Eric O'Shea Show.